All right, so I was a ship captain on a bulk carrier a long time ago. We went to Cardiff in Wales to load steel billets, which are 13 meters long, bars like this. They loaded them in the bottom of the cargo hold, and the local stevedores lashed them just putting a wire around the top layer. And I saw it as the lashing, that's not good. They say, no, we always do it like that. I say, I'm not sailing like this. This is not properly done. Because if you have a straight cargo hold like this, it may hold when the ship's rolling. But if mine was 45 degrees, there's a self-trimming cargo hold. So there are tanks on both sides, and leaning 45 degrees. So if you roll, everything flies upwards. So I said, no, I'm not sailing like this. So they called P&I Club representative. The guy comes on board and he says, Captain, I don't know anything about it, but whatever you say, we will do it. Okay. So in the end, we found a solution. We welded some, angle bars on the ship's side and put wires, and everything was fine. Then we sailed, but as you can imagine, all this steel, in the bottom of the cargo hold, my GM was through the roof. So we're sailing. Bay of Biscay is bad enough, the weather there, right? And I was hoping for the better weather in Atlantic, but on the contrary, it was so bad, that when we entered, we passed Finisterre. I was supposed to turn south because I was sailing southwest. I was trying to turn south, but whenever I tried to do that, all the hell broke loose. It was started jerking so heavily. So every fridge open, all the everything flying out. You cannot cook anything on the stove. Everything in the provision store scattered. It was really bad. All my crew praying in the mess room. I lost 2 portholes. So I was a little desperate. And after a day or two, I don't remember right now, I remember that there is from the old seaman, there's a story that if you want bad weather to go away, you have to please Neptune, give him a present, So I took my old working boots, from my cabin and just tossed them overboard. And, the next day, he must have liked it really very much because, the next day the weather was already perfect, next day. And we could turn back east, and go towards Gibraltar and then Tangier and discharge all this cargo. So sometimes it pays to be superstitious.